Hey, what's up, mortals? It's Miggy Sawdust here with a new video for you. Welcome to Season 1, Episode 6 of What If Bakugou Died? Just wanted to greet you all by just saying sit back and relax. You're in for a treat. Let's get started. Deku took a deep breath. 3 months. They had been preparing for this moment for 3 months. His classmates were by his side, waiting for their signal. About a mile away, Deku knew the big three were also in position. His heart pounded in his chest. This was it. Today, they'd either lure the League of Villains out of hiding or... well, Deku didn't want to think about it. An explosion sounded from across the street. "It's all you now, man," Kirishima said. Deku nodded. He left off the top of the building that they were hiding on. Over the course of the past few months, Deku had almost mastered his control of One for All. By training with his teachers, studying under the Big Three, and figuring out new things for himself, he had grown so much. Not to mention the ways he was challenged during the sports festival and how he, Ida, and Todoroki had faced the hero killer, Stain. All Might had even introduced him to a new mentor, Gran Torino, the same man who had taught All Might. Through dedication and hard work, and plenty of broken bones, Deku could now zip across the city in no time, land a perfect Detroit smash, and create forces of air just by flicking his fingers. It was hard to believe that they had been through so much in such a short amount of time. They hadn't even made it to their final exams yet. For heroes, life moved fast. Shaking himself out of his thoughts, Deku sprinted down the street. He was wearing civilian clothes so he could blend in. He got to an abandoned alley and stopped. Now all that was left was to wait for Phase 2 to begin. There! A monstrous green villain came crashing around the corner. He was laughing maniacally. "Those fools!" the sludge villain cried. "You can't keep me locked up for long!" Deku braced himself. Seeing this criminal after so long still filled him with dread. But given all that he had been through, the moment wasn't as scary as he thought it would be. Phase 1 was complete. Let the sludge villain escape and lure him downtown. They needed a diversion, and this was the perfect one. Phase 2 involved Deku playing the part of the helpless victim. It didn't take that much acting, honestly. He was already shaking. It was less from fear of the villain, and more that this was yet another memory he had of Kachan. Deku took a deep breath and bravely stepped in the villain's line of sight. He feigned shock. "Oh no! A monster!" he cried. The sludge villain looked at him and got a sickening grin. "Hey, I remember you. Looks like you've grown up a bit. Perfect. You'll make a perfect meat puppet for me." He advanced and started to surround Deku. "All Might can't save you now." Deku closed his eyes and braced himself for the pain. "Think again, villain!" a booming voice echoed. All Might sprang into action. The sludge villain dropped Deku and started moving away. "All Might!" he cried. "Why do you always have to ruin my fun?" All Might chuckled. "Oh, but the fun's just beginning!" As the two exchanged blows, Deku ran around the corner. He quietly spoke into his comm set. "Phase 2 is underway. Get ready, Big Three." "Okie dokie," Nejire answered. Within a few seconds, sirens started wailing across the city. Nejire, Mirio, and Tamaki were luring some minor villains to where Deku and All Might were. They'd bring the police with them to section off the area and protect civilians. That would also get the attention of the media. They needed to be sure this fight would be broadcasted. The whole point was to be as obvious as possible. The Big Three burst out onto the scene. "All Might! Thank goodness you're here!" Mirio said, sounding relieved. He was a pretty good actor. He, Nejire, and Tamaki were engaged in battle with 3 no-name thugs who had been robbing a jeweler's store. It had been easy to startle them and get them on the run. All they had to do was lead them toward where All Might would be. So far, the plan was going pretty smoothly. A news chopper had followed the Big Three. No doubt the reporters inside were surprised to find All Might there too. Deku knew that was his cue. He sprinted back into battle. "Oh no, All Might, are you okay?" he exclaimed. Inwardly, he had cringed at how rehearsed that sounded. "Ha ha ha! Don't worry, my boy. I've never felt better," All Might answered. He pretended to be distracted by the question, and that's when the sludge villain found his opening. "Gotcha!" he cried as he landed a blow onto All Might's face. Deku gulped. The most risky part of the plan was about to begin. This video is sponsored by Adobe. Adobe is redefining the digital experience through game-changing innovations that shape the next generation of storytelling. Adobe makes it easy to create, edit, and share digital documents securely, allowing you to collaborate and communicate across devices. Adobe Photoshop is your go-to application for raster graphics editing and digital art as a whole. At We the Celestials, all our thumbnails across every channel are created with Adobe Photoshop. Adobe Premiere Pro is a timeline-based and non-linear video editing software application that's versatile and easy for beginners and master editors. Finally, Adobe After Effects is the industry-standard tool for digital visual effects, motion graphics, and compositing applications used in post-production. Many of our voice actors, audio editors, and video editors use Premiere Pro and After Effects to produce these high-quality videos. Click the link in the description to start creating now, and thank you to Adobe for sponsoring this video. Smoke began to fill the air. All Might coughed. It was hard to watch him be in pain. After keeping the secret of All Might's weakness for so long, Deku found himself averting his eyes as All Might transformed. What is this?" the sludge villain exclaimed. The big three and the crook stopped fighting and stared. Where the number one hero had stood, a frail and skeletal man was now in his place. All Might had briefed the heroes and students on his condition, of course, but that couldn't have prepared them for this. Deku cringed. He could just imagine the shock of the people in the news helicopter. Everyone at the prefecture would know All Might's secret now. "Mission accomplished." Aizawa's voice came over the comm. "You're on every major news channel." "The League will show up at any minute." Todoroki's voice came next. He and Ida were on standby. "Right," Deku muttered. He stopped playing the helpless victim. Taking off his sweatshirt, he revealed his hero costume underneath. Before the sludge villain could even react, a wall of ice encased him. Todoroki stepped out from where he and Ida were hiding. The big three caught their foes off guard and pinned them down. Deku zipped into action and tied them all up. Ida grabbed a wheelbarrow he had placed in the alley, loaded the sludge villain and the crooks onto it, and used his super speed to deposit them in prison. All Might cowered in the corner, looking miserable and humiliated. "All Might, are you okay?" Deku asked. All Might nodded, looking sullen. Tamaki walked over and offered his hand. All Might took it and leaned on him for support. Deku looked around warily. Would the League of Villains show up? There was no way Shigaraki would pass up this opportunity. As he was thinking that, the air shifted. Before any of them could even think, a portal opened up on the street. Multiple villains burst out. There was a man with black hair and painful-looking scars. He had blue flames dancing around his skin. A small girl with blonde hair followed, a maniacal grin on her face. A guy in a black and silver skin-tight suit came out next, followed by Shigaraki himself. It looked like the League had some new members. Mirio and Nezare stepped in front of their friends protectively. Tamaki shifted positions so that he was basically giving All Might a piggyback ride. "Any time now, Ida," Deku murmured. The League surged forward. Todoroki blasted them back with fire, but the attack was stopped by the man with the blue flames. "You ever hear about that old saying? You know, the one, fighting fire with fire?" the villain mused. Todoroki switched strategies and started using his ice instead. Meanwhile, the blonde girl went after Nezare. She had several knives. "Hey, your hero costume's adorable!" she squealed. "I can't wait to see what it looks like covered in blood." Nezare blocked a knife. "Sorry, but I'm afraid I can't let you do that. The dry cleaning would cost a fortune," she quipped. Deku looked for an opening. He wanted to help. But at that moment, Shigaraki lunged at him. "Nice to see you again, you little brat," he said. "I suppose you thought All Might could be protected by a bunch of runts like you." Deku dodged and tried to get a few hits in, but Shigaraki was surprisingly agile. He glanced to his right and saw that Tamaki was fending off the villain in the black suit. He was having difficulty fighting and protecting All Might at the same time. "Whoa, careful!" the villain yelled. He dodged and then attacked. "Just kidding! Come at me with all you got!" he answered himself in a voice that was slightly different. Looks like you're running low on HP, Shigaraki gloated. He raised his hand and brought it dangerously close to Deku's face. Just as he was about to touch him, a foot slammed into Shigaraki's side and sent him flying. Stay back, villain! Ida yelled. He looked at Deku. Are you all right, Midoriya? Deku nodded. Thanks for the save! Ida smiled. Your backup is here. A bunch of pros burst onto the scene. Mr. Aizawa was there, along with Endeavor and Hawks. Deku's heart lifted with hope. Maybe they could do this after all. Mr. Aizawa started erasing quirks, while Hawks used his feathers to pin villains down. Endeavor went to help his son fight off the blue flame villain. Shigaraki shakily got to his feet, rubbing his side. Nicely played, but you haven't reached the boss level yet. An explosion rocked the city block. Smoke filled the air. Both the heroes and villains reeled back from the shock. Aizawa cursed as he lost visual on the League. He couldn't erase any quirks now. A laugh echoed around them. What a bunch of wannabes! Someone punched Deku in the jaw, sending him sprawling. A shadow loomed over him. The assailant grabbed Deku's collar and slammed him down into the pavement. Deku pushed the person off of him. He rubbed his face. Who was this new guy? Slowly, the smoke cleared to where Deku could look up to his attacker. His breath hitched. Kachan? Thank you all so much for watching the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Now before I let you go, I want to go over a couple of things with you. First, if you're in the mood for some great storytelling, We the Celestials have got you covered. Our We the Celestials, My Hero Academia, and Naruto What If channels retell the story of their namesake anime with a twist. Check it out if you're interested. Secondly, on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in the production of today's awesome content. Their details can be found in the description below. Lastly, if you're interested in what we do here at We the Celestials, then I'd like to personally invite you to join our crew. The only caveat being we only accept members from 16 years and up. You can sign up for whatever category catches your interest by joining the recruitment Discord using the link in the description below. We're always looking for new members to join us. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so much all for watching and have a divine day.